Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Don't Sleep on the Couch podcast. My name is Cash, aka Exec P, into the box to the upper, right hand corner, left hand corner, whatever. I don't know my directions.
Mr.
It's my man.
Prez.
Okay. And we are joined by the good folks at the Great Minds podcast. Fellas, y'all introduce yourself.
What up? What up? This is Derek, aka Nums.
This is Vaughn, aka V Twiz, but everyone calls me Twiz.
All right, fellas. So just in case you guys that's listening and watching don't know why you're here for the mid-year, we have to have a list, right? We gotta do that. So we're here for the mid-year hip hop and R&B awards. We have some dope ass categories lined up for you. Best EPs, overrated album. What else we got, Prez? What else am I forgetting? First of the mid-year. I mean, we got a lot of things going. Yeah, we got a lot of things going, fellas. So without further ado, I just want to hop right into it. So who wants to start off? We're gonna start with. Let's go with overrated album. Let's start with overrated album. So who wants to start this thing off?
I can start off right now. Right now.
Go ahead.
You want? Let me take this. Let me take this, Derek. Yeah. So
you got
the overrated to me. Because the way I looked at it is basically music that I listen to, right? So I'm kind of biased for what I listen to. So it's like, all right, if I didn't hear it, I can't say it's overrated because I didn't check it out. But for me, it was The Chorus of the Inevitable by Lloyd Banks. I heard it twice, and I probably never hear it again. Just to be blunt, and it took me back to why I probably won't, because he sounds like 03 and 04 still. And that's why I couldn't get into him for full albums. You know what I'm saying? Back then, singles, yeah, but not albums. And I felt the same flow. He had Ransom on there. He had, of course, I think he had Royce, right? I think Royce is on the track. He had people, Freddie Gibbs is on some track, I think a track. But the flow just didn't grab me, so I'll never hear it again, ever in my life.
Be ready for the blowback. Ready for the blowback.
Oh yeah, they coming for you. Yo,
People
he has some
feel strongly
stands.
about that album.
We still getting comments on the review.
No,
we still getting negative comments on that. They told my man Prez he got earwax in his ears because he couldn't hear back.
Yeah, so it's all good. Yo, you know how music changes, right? It changes like fashion. You feel me? So you're not still wearing baggy bows anymore, right?
Nah.
So why do I want to hear the same flow from 03, 02? You got to evolve in some form of fashion. And I feel that he didn't evolve it, but kudos to him because it's independent album. It's dope for him. Get your money, but I will just never listen to it again.
Yeah,
fair enough.
And I could take your opinion on that. That's definitely a good take on it. I mean, you said exactly what I said. Like the delivery, his style of flow that he chooses don't change, and it was evident with those guests that you mentioned, the way they deliver and had that little ad libs or whatever they have in the background. Whereas like with Lloyd Banks, it's just like everything he says, it's the last word that he says is emphasized if he throws anything into the mix in the background. And I mean, it's just the music and the style that we see things and change, and that part still makes it sound extra dated.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Couldn't agree more.
So I'll hop on next, man. I got the same album. Of course, the Inevitable is the most overrated to me. I gave I like old Lloyd Banks and stuff like that. And the crazy thing to me on Twitter, it's like they talk about like Lloyd Banks like he's like a god, and I'm just like, yo, I like them with G Unit. I think he has like on his first album, Hunger for More, all that. I think he has like great punchlines that I still say in rap still today, stuff like that. But like, when you tell me something's like album of the year, hands down, or a candidate for album of the year, I that ain't flying for me. So with that being said, I like Vaughn, I think I heard it twice fully through. And now the flow is the same. The flow is the same throughout. The only difference is you could tell he's a little bit more wiser because he throws in like jewels and stuff like that, but it's all within the same flow. It gets like very monotonous. And then like the features he had, dope features, but again, like, you know, I think Ransom watched him. I think Freddie did. I think Benny had a better verse. And like, not to say what he's
Styles
not to say that Styles, yeah. And not to say that what he was saying was whack, but for me, if you're talking about album of the year candidate, like, and I'm not going back to listen to it, that's overrated to me.
Yeah.
Prez, what about you? What you got as your overrated?
My overrated album, man. I don't know if some people gonna find this disrespectful, but I don't mean it in no disrespectful sense. But just the way they was elevating it and what the product that was given didn't add up. And that's the DMX Exodus album. And respect everything about X, his old catalog and everything. But it just felt like it was kind of rushed for that to be out for his death, his burial, and all this, and just capitalize off. So it felt like a money grab. The process was done, and we done seen it done in other instances. Most recently, like with last year, and with Pop Smoke, and people took their time and delivered a good project. This right here seems like some of the verses, especially like the Wayne verse and all these things, it was like haphazard. Like, I think people talk about the Jay-Z, talking about it seemed like an old dated. So it didn't link up. It was a couple of songs on there that are great, but for an overall project, I think they should have took their time a little bit more on it. And I mean, you want to give the man his flowers. I will say that his back catalog is outstanding for the project that was presented to us at that time. I'm not gonna big it up, and it felt like it was overly with Swiss beats, like heavily with his influence. You know what I mean? And I think to show that man the proper respect would have just been, hey, give it his proper just due. Let stuff, you know, come out and be perfect. Hell, we still get Nipsey Hussle verses right now, and every time they sound immaculate, and it sounded like, hey, we lost a king. You know what I mean? We lost somebody great. I can't say the same for that DMX project. It just felt like, man, he was making it feel like he was past his prime. This is all that he could give after all the great products that he put out. I mean, if you want to release some of those stuff or some of the verses that people gave you, do it in the deluxe later on. But for right then where it was at, it didn't add up to me. So I felt like that project was a little bit overrated.
Hey, Prez, I just want to add to that.
Like,
Go ahead, Derek.
So real quick, what I was gonna say, that, like, I didn't, no disrespect again, whether X was alive or not, I didn't need a DMX album. You know what I'm saying?
I said
so
that
for
off
me,
the
I
mic
wouldn't
too.
really. Yeah. So I mean, I don't want to, I don't want to come off as disrespectful or anything like that. We know X is a legend. So for me, it didn't really disappoint me because, like, if he was, you know, God bless him, if he was alive, I really wouldn't have been checking for the album like that anyway. So I wasn't disappointed. I skimmed through the features that I wanted to hear. I thought the joint with the locks was dope. I like what he did with Griselda, and then, like, I don't know, I think whole verse was like from 2012 or something like that. I heard. I like Nas' verse on the song, and then after that, I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't even listen to anything else. I can't even give it a proper judgment because I probably wouldn't even really checked it if had he been alive either way. So, just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I just want to add on that too. That was gonna be mine, honestly, but I didn't listen to it fully through because I didn't want to. You know, no disrespect with X, but when I heard certain songs, it sounded like it was an album featuring X. You feel what I'm saying? It seemed like it was like people that pieced together. So it's always with these projects that's like that. It's like it has to be organic. You know what I'm saying? How it's being made. And when these projects that's like, you know, after someone has passed, a lot of them are being rushed. So you're thinking like, all right, he did this when he was alive. But if I'm not mistaken, I think Swiss even said that when he did the verses, he loved the way the young crowd was loving him. He wanted to give them something, you know, to remember him by. My whole thing is that, no, you don't have to do that. They can still listen to your old catalog and love you the same. You know what I'm saying? So like you were stating, it didn't feel right. You know what I'm saying? Even though he was alive when he recorded it, it didn't feel right. And it just seemed like an older DMX, which we knew it was, but I don't need to hear him on the track with Griselda to keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to hear that. It's a different kind of flow, different kind of feel to it. So I totally agree with that. It would have been mine, but I didn't listen to it, yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying, fully through. So I didn't want to just say that, but yeah, I'm with you.
And that was one of the better tracks, man. The Griselda one on that album. I mean, because there's some of it, like the Wayne one. I'm telling you, like just that one was trash to me. The Bono, we said, what was it, Bono? Yeah,
Bono, yep.
That trash.
Yeah, Bono.
It's not. It wasn't made for me. It's made to be on the end of some music, some movie. When they win or something like that. That's what you'll see something come up again later on down the line. And then that the second Nas feature on that was good, but that first Jay and Nas was just lukewarm. And the Usher song was good. That was it.
Yeah, it was sad.
Was just plain skippable.
It was sad, man. It was too much Swiss. And, you know, you either love or hate Swiss, but most of his production I like from early to when Rough Riders was about to fizzle out. You know what I mean? That's where my Swiss production really, where I grew to love it. But past that and the things that he's done, I haven't really been a fan of. So, like you said, Prez, man, it was too early to bring this out. Like, take time. You mentioned Pop Smoke, Big's posthumous album, that was dope. Also, I mean, there's been a lot of other joints. Sean Price, like it's been a lot of other joints that have come out from people that passed away to where people did it right. You don't have to rush it, man. Like, anytime an X project come, his fans are gonna come with it, but take the time to curate the sound, man. And for Jay to not even update the verse, I was like, that was crazy to me to hear that. You know what I mean? So it was all downhill from there, man. I hate to say it, man, but yeah, that's a bad one. But as for me, man, my overrated album of the year is clearly DJ Khaled's Khaled. How many times can I continue to hear a bunch of people put them together and let's see what happens? Like, they make this dude seem like he Barry Gordy in the studio. Like, he could just do anything and just let it fly. And it's great. And the way Fat Joe be bigging him up, I get it. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But
that's his man.
That's his man. Yeah. And I get it. You know what I'm saying? But it's not good. It's not good. Sorry, not sorry. That shit was like, that beat and that hook, toss it in the trash can. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
I like that joint.
Jay and Hove came with the verses. I like the verses.
Yeah, Jay and Nas did their thing. Yeah, the verses was straight.
You know what I'm saying? I like the way Nas is talking, you know, as far as, you know, how he's doing angel investing and all the things that he's doing later on in his career. But yeah, the rest of it, man, like I mean, these songs are gonna be big in the summertime, and I get it. When I'm outside, that's probably when I want to hear it. But outside of that, I probably wouldn't listen to a Khaled album. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have that staying power as far as bangers, man. So yeah, that's just me.
Yeah, we talked about that. We talk about that, Cash, on our pod when we say, like, what music is like. It has to be what environment you're in to really appreciate it, right? So we're coming out of a pandemic to a certain point. So during this time, people confine to their cribs and or you know, small proximity of people can't have, you're not really at functions like that. Right. So you listen to lyrics right now. So you're hearing like, yo, if it makes sense with lyrics, I can really go into it. But if you are out at a club or chilling, driving, doing whatever, and you know, Amigos track come on and Straightening come on, it's a different feel to it. If you're sitting in your crib listening to it. So I think with albums like Khaled, it's one of those things where it wasn't the time for the album. You feel what I'm saying? Like, no one's not going to be out there. Unless you're in Miami or maybe you're in Miami or you're in Atlanta or whatever. They've been open for a while. So if you're out there, they dances that. But like, if you're not like that, you ain't gonna rock with it. I mean, I don't rock with it either, but that's probably why.
And I love Khaled. Khaled's a great guy. Seems to be like, his hospitality's on another level. You just watched the Migos interview. They was talking about how he's a great guy. But You know,
Yeah.
to me, he's now. I feel like the old guy in the room when I listen to Khaled. He's remixing some of my favorite records and not doing them any justice.
Like Hitmaker.
Oh, like yeah, man. But sometimes he does well. Sometimes he does well. I ain't gonna lie. But
yeah.
but Khaled is not doing he's putting the wrong people on remixes that I love. You know what I mean? Like I forgot the song that he came out, Lil Wayne come on in the beginning, but he just ruined it, man. Like it wasn't good, man. So that's my overrated album so far through the mid-year, man. So up next we got let's move on to the EPs. Y'all want to do that or verse of the mid-year? Which one?
Yo,
let's go to album.
I think the
man.
verse
Let's
in
go
mid
first.
Let's hit
Well,
let's hit
verse
verse.
to me,
Let's hit the
because-
verses. Let's hit the verses.
All right.
With the verses, can I please start this one off? So this is what I think. I've been thinking about this all year. I'm glad you asked this question because I have to say the verse for you really to understand how crazy the verse is. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
If that
Go.
was the case.
Do your thing.
All right. This is a Ransom's verse from Pride. And Derek know what I'm talking about. We kind of talk about this all on too. That might be the craziest verse I heard like this year when I listened to it. So let me pull this up. All right. So I'm gonna try. Yo, Rance, don't get mad at me, man. I'm gonna try to do my best impression of you right here with this. So, all right. My man said, "Where was you niggas when I was under? It's hard to be peaceful and civil in spite of hunger. Before you make a bad call, nigga, don't dial the number. I'm trying to be a dope that I needed when I was younger. I told my mom, I told my mom Dukes I forgive her for being absent. Remember, all my friends made fun of her because of accent. Never understood the importance of what a dad meant. Because my mama never spent the couple checks he last sent. As far as that shit, it's past tense. I changed for the money because it never made sense. Almost seen the pearly gates when I hopped my last fence. Now I'm over 38 and wondering where the cash went. He talk about coke, man. Never sold a slab of raw. Stop asking for the ball with zero passion to score. You criticize rap, but you never crafted a bar. That's like talking about sex, but you can't unfasten a bra. It's shit like crashing a car, collision course, with your vision lost. You could die for nothing, but your living costs. You think the decision's yours? No remorse in the center score.
Really?
It's cold when they lock them prison doors. He froze when I shot him. Forgive him, Lord. Bullet holes in every car that I ever driven off. Regardless, I've been a boss. Was robbing and whipping raw. Kept them jars in the kitchen drawer. With revolvers and tinted cars. Leave a nigga slumped back. The gun strap. Point at your cranium like a dunce cap. Stand up niggas never get hunchback. And I don't really think you want that. I brought that little pump back. I snuck it on stage. How you gonna trump that? A different world with a grimy time. I don't simulate. I put the game up a slight, put up to 99. It's only right that I finally shine, taking in line to line. And now that I'm eating, I'm gonna wine and dine. I speak words that scar you. If it doesn't involve you, it never should involve you.
Shouldn't involve you. That is so many facts.
I'm too clever to argue. I'm too clever to argue. I don't really speak much. Vision like Cole said. I'm just trying to get you to see stuff. If you play games, the shy you lifting your cleats up. If you naming names, you ain't nobody that we trust. If you claim that fame is getting out of the police cuffs, you should save the pain, consider giving these streets up. Keep up. I'm Dr. Sebi mixing Machiavelli, Pac, and Reggie. Mobile soldiers behold the flow as vulgar as Akinelli. Put it in your mouth. I'm like the Lakers when they drop confetti. They try to keep the chopper steady. Whenever the stock is heavy, Berettas and cock and semis. Whenever rain appear, this guy's crazy. Man, I'll always be judged on how he handles his fear. Yeah. It's clear I'm over your heads, just like a chandelier. Fans cheer, fuck up the game over spending years. Like when I heard that, I probably heard it like 20 times, yo.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what he's saying is ridiculous.
Yeah,
that's my verse. It's my verse in the year.
Bro, when I
heard the crazy thing, I about to say the crazy thing about that whole thing is like I remember, and I'm gonna just step in. That's my verse of the year too. I'm not gonna rap the verse over again. That's
Oh,
my
word?
verse, mid verse of the
Look,
year.
yo,
Yeah.
yo, we did not talk about these before we met. So
Yeah,
this is,
word up. So like that's my mid verse
Yeah,
of
we
the
didn't
year
talk
too. I
about
was
it.
listening to it at the gym this morning. But the whole crazy thing about like it's just the wordplay is just sick. And I was saying to my boy when I first heard the song, I was just like, people don't understand that like his words and his flow is so powerful. He's not even rapping on drums on that song. It's just a loop. There's no drums.
Yeah,
he is the drum. He is the drums. You know what I'm saying? With the powerful. So that's I ain't even gonna waste anybody's time. That's my mid verse of the year. I'd be hard pressed to see something that tops that. Like I said, I'm not gonna rap it again. I'm just gonna say ditto.
So
that joint was just different, man.
Yo,
that like
I literally the first time I heard
yeah.
that verse, I had my headphones on, and then when he said, "I'm Dr. Sebi mixed with Machiavelli," yo, tossed to the side. I said, "This nah, not like he doing too much, man. Like this dude, man. Like, yeah, that's one of them verses, man. Like."
I know for a fact that I called Cash like that week that thing was released, and like we talked about that for about a good hour, that verse. So I had something else, and I'm still gonna talk about something else, but that is definitely it for me. And just like I'm right there with you. And we just talked last week about just like, man, people need to give this man his respect. That Ransom, like anybody who like talk to me and tries and don't listen at that, I kind of throw their opinion to the side. Like you don't understand. You don't. So it don't even must count. Whatever you're gonna say next, don't even must count.
Yep. Yeah, like I saw somebody on Twitter today saying like Rock Marciano is better than Ransom. I was just like, whoa,
log off.
I can't get on board with that. And Ransom is funny because he saw the dude tweet. Dude not even following him. I mean, dude, he didn't even tag Ransom in it. And then Ransom just put the GIF up. You know, the joint where with Michael Jordan looking at the like the iPad joint when they say Gary Payton stopped he put that joint up.
But you know what's dope about
funny
this,
thing
right?
He loves that stuff though. I said Ransom loves stuff like that though.
It's a sport, man. It's a sport. But
you know
what, Joe, all four of us pretty much had the same thing. And that's how people think. I show you that we're connected with that, right? With the music. So I always said, when I was thinking about this, about what we asked about the verse, I'm like, yo, I don't know if they're going to have this verse, but it had to be said though. Like it can't just say like, yo, the Ransom verse on blah, 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 blah. Yeah. I'm like, yo, it's not going to have the same impact. So I'm like, yo, I got to say the verse. like, you know what I'm saying? To get my point across.
That's perfect. You saved me a lot of time.
It worked out.
So that's definitely what I agree with. But just to add a little something else into the mix, man, and definitely going to speak on this, and I want to hear y'all thoughts on it anyway. The other moment in time that kind of like stopped and stood still, just like on overall level that everybody's going to hear in hip hop, was the Drake, the Lemon Pepper freestyle. I mean, people who don't listen to rap kind of hear it and want to acknowledge like what he was doing in that rhyme. But I'm like, my whole little deal is like, well, everybody know Drake may not even have written all that. That may have been given to him. I don't know. But the stuff that he was saying and the way he flipped it up and he's like talking, he switched it up halfway talking about facts and stuff like this in between. Like everything that you were saying, he was rapping, you was kind of feeling. It ain't gonna have. Sometimes he had the double entendres and stuff in there, but it's not really mixed with that. It felt like he was kind of talking to you, just going through his life, and it was just like when he was like ushering in a generation. These are my confessions. You know what I mean? Just simple, but like there. You know what I mean? Enough to hit you with like, ooh, okay, nice, okay, going with it. And then like that, when he switched it up and going to the facts section, where he's just naming off just simple stuff. Hey, Rick Ross sitting on 200 and whatever acres,
40, 50
facts,
acres.
Just going through it, just let you realize like it it made you feel like, hey, all this is achievable. That's kind of how like he raps it. Like all this stuff is achievable. Just everything's gonna come with time. So it's like that inspirational type rap with that too. But once again, I mean, it's always gonna be that. When you mention Drake, he's the mainstream, way mainstream, and then the knocks of just, hey, do he write all his stuff, whatever. Did it sound good? Was it delivered great? Did everybody try to do a freestyle off that beat after Drake when it killed it? Yes. I mean, so just acknowledging for that portion. So
I think Drake is a rapper's rapper. You know what I'm saying? I think people love to diss Drake, but they respect him because I think Drake can make the hits and he can also rap. Like he really can rap. So I think on that Lemon Pepper, I think that's him. You know what I'm saying? Like I know we spoke about it before, Derek, that you know when he has the songs, the singing songs, those are more when he's you know collaborating. You know what I mean? So that's what I think personally. But Drake is dope.
Yeah, he's one of the like. I mean, that verse was super duper long, but he did kill it. He did kill it throughout the whole time, and it's in my honorable mentions list as far as a verse that I heard, whether it was on hip hop Twitter or whether it was on mainstream or whether it was people that I know that don't really rock with music, like people that like y'all here on this panel that don't listen intently. So yeah, they was like, yo, you heard the Drake Lemon Pepper? Of course I heard it. Like when he does that 5 a.m. and wherever he's at, or 6 a.m. and all that, he
always
about to get
fire.
in his bag.
Always fire.
It's always fire.
Yeah.
Like so, you can't deny that, and it definitely is up there as far as replay value. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like Ross shouldn't have let him do that, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, that man went off about 3 minutes straight.
Yo, bro.
Yeah, he
Ross always get the short end of the stick with Drake.
Always.
Always get the short end. He get the worst song.
This is what
like Drake get the best song on his album, and Ross get the wackest.
For sure.
But it's like certain artists bring out that best in you. Like he be teamed up with some, and I think that's what Rick Ross does. I mean, think about every time we get that great Drake's quotable or something, it's like kind of featured with a Ross. Like people still saying on that Stay Scheming, you wasn't with him shooting in the gym. R.I.P. Kobe.
Word up, right? Yeah, Rose that dude too, man. Rose that guy, man. I think Rose rapper too, and he know how to do it, and he know how to make the songs, and I think you're right, Press. He does bring it out of him. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Prez, it's all good, man, with the camera. I'm going to just throw your pitch up on here. The stream glitching anyway, so, it's all good, man. We'll adjust. No big deal. All right. So, fellas, for me, man, I had somebody totally different. I went back and forth. I had the Pride verse as one of the verses, had one of the Rand verses as Envy, but ultimately, what I kept going back to was Hove with that Scorpion Bricks way before Ori double disc, like that What It Feels Like joint with Nipsey Hussle. Like he was talking that typical Hove talk in a way that I know him to shine at his finest. You know what I mean? So pretty much everything littered in that verse for me was it, like from that year, so far this year. So once I got that and went through all these verses again and again, I was like, it's more potent to what's happening right now. You know what I mean? So I think Jay tackled everything from just the drug references to the whatever the status quo is right now. I think Jay did what Jay normally does, but this was on a higher level. This is what I wish Jay did on the X album. You know what I'm saying? I wish he gave X that proper respect to redo the verse. You know what I mean? Or, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah, this one was high up there in that replay value, as well as the movie, to go along with it. So, and it all came back to I arrived on the day when Fred Hampton died.
Hampton died. Yeah,
Hampton died back on the Black album.
Assassinated.
Right. Yeah. So so he brought that back full circle from the Black album, I believe. So yeah, man, it was a dope joint, and just goes to show you, man, these dudes 50 plus still got it in them.